That's right. Whatever. Seven deadly sins, my butt. Greed, lust, whatever this stuff is called, gluttony. These things are freaking tasty. Not my fault. Freaking accuse me. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. I have a little chalk on my teeth. Because, yeah, these things are like Maltese. Well, actually, they are called Maltese. What's the American version of these things again? Anyway. Hey, so full spoilers. Ask me anything. I imagine enough of you guys saw my non-spoiler review. That was just basic. As far as my actual spoilers, I loved the effing movie. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of moments to ask me some questions live here, and I will answer them. Otherwise, I'm just going to go into my own diatribe. But, All right, well, F you guys. So anyway, there was a big question everybody had. Was Superman in this movie? Well, kind of. Kind of, yes, he was. At the very end of the movie, before the pre-credits rolled, Superman walks into the movie, but you don't get to see his head. So I don't know who was playing him. I didn't bother looking and all that stuff, but oh my god, I got to see that. Okay, Draken Silverclaw. Yes, 100%. We do get to see the entire Shazam family. That blew me away. I did not expect that, and oh my god, they looked effing good. Wow. These guys look so good. Who was my favorite kid? I think her name was Darla. I'm not as familiar with all the different kids and whatnot, but it was the young black girl, her. Oh my god, cutest freaking kid in the world. Don't let my kids hear that. But yeah, cutest little freaking kid in the world. Oh my god, she was awesome. I need to see her and the Flash. If it's Ezra Miller, fine, whatever. He still annoys me, but I don't know if I don't like him because of this, that, or the other thing. I don't like that he went and signed the one kid's Marvel comic. I didn't see that as being a big deal. I think that was some like major douchery right there. But hey, what the hell do I know? Anyway, I would love to see her and the Flash together, and we kind of see that in the pre-credits. They have a whole bunch of sketches of the Marvel family doing different things with each other, mostly Shazam himself. And you actually get to see, I think her name was Darla. Anyway, yeah, she runs off and she's hanging out with the Flash and whatnot. And I'm like, that's exactly what I was hoping for, because she mostly uses she uses some super strength, but she mostly uses super speed when she's fighting. And it's only at the very end of the movie. Again, the scenes did feel very drawn out, but I don't think there was a single movie with her, a single point in the film with either her as a kid or her even as the adult, where I didn't absolutely fall in love with it. Like, wow. I'm not saying that we need to see a solo movie with her because I don't know how well it would sell, but I would 100% watch that. Wow, she was so good at this. Seeing this movie has now turned to a top priority. Oh, hell yeah, it should. It definitely should. Let's see. Oh, no more questions? Anyway, yeah, so I imagine there's going to be a bunch of people just leaving now, which is fine. I don't expect this one to be particularly big. I did see this movie a week before it's available in regular theaters, like without the Fandango Express thing, so I get it. But, man, wow. Like I said in the non-spoiler, they wasted not 1 second getting into origin stories, and they actually start off with, what's his name's story? What's up, Silva? Yeah, thank you for pointing out that thing was, what do you call it? An hour in the future. It's one of the reasons why I rely on you, brother. You're the man. I love the movie. My entire family has crying watching the movie. It really was good. Black Adam, did they put him in it? Yes and no. No, he is absolutely not in this movie. The Rock does not show up at all in this movie, but we get his origin story. That was, to me, that was almost in the beginning of the movie. Right away in the beginning of the movie, we get to see Dr. Sylvania. We're thinking it's Billy, but it's actually Dr. Sylvania. He gets checked to see should you be should you receive the power of the Shazam, the Shazam magic, the wizard, the power of the wizard. And no, he's not picked. He's sent off, and then it's his entire life's goal to now go back and try and get this power. That's his whole life's goal. Later on, Billy shows up, and it's unfortunately he's not the perfect kid. It's a funny thing because let me get to that in a hot minute on the Stephen King commentary. There's anyway, when he starts learning about the history and the seven thrones, the six empty ones, and whatnot, and it's cool because they point out that's my throne. The wizard Shazam says, and there's six other empty thrones. There's six members of the Marvel family, Billy and five others. That makes six. So just like what Jeff Johns is doing in the movie now. In the comic book, what Jeff Johns is doing in the comic book now. They could be. They could be. Either way, it could just be Black Adam, Teth Adam, who deserves that seat. I don't know. I don't even care. Because, wow. When they're explaining the history there, they don't say his name, but they say one of ours. One of our, one of our champions, the most recent champion, whatever, used our power for revenge. And by him using his powers for revenge, not only did it, destroy this entire city and send an entire culture fleeing, but also created the seven deadly sins. So that was actually really interesting to me. That was mind-blowing for me. Like, okay, so that's the way they're going to pull this off. I'm totally down with that. Very different from the C.C. Beck origin. This is a picture of me not having any problem with that. That was awesome. But yeah, like I said in the non-spoiler, in my opinion, the greatest origin for him was in the 15-minute animated Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam. I think that was the absolute best because this was a perfectly good kid. Now, I understand most people, seriously, most people today are very cynical. I'm very gullible in thinking there's actually good in a lot of people, which is why I sometimes walk backwards into a conversation and people are being a bunch of jackasses. Oh, and I can flip the script if I need to, but I'll sometimes feel, and I'll always feel, and many times actually, appear gullible because I think that people are in general good. There's a lot of cynicism, a lot of sarcasm in the world. Sarcasm is one thing. I'm from Jersey. I accept that, but I'm no stranger to sarcasm, my friends. But like the cynicism in this world it's kind of painful. It's kind of hurtful to me, but it is what it is. Stephen King was it an entertainment book? I forget what it was. I think it was called Entertainment. Anyway, it was a monthly magazine that used to come out, and I grabbed this one magazine, and he was having a conversation about how much he hated Twilight. He hates Twilight. And how much he loves Harry Potter. How he thinks that Harry Potter is proof, and J.K. Rowling, therefore, is proof that there is still good in the world. He says in a world where the Punisher and Wolverine are like the ultimate hero, where he doesn't mention Batman, which is odd, but whatever, because I guess there's still the Burt Ward and Adam West versions of Batman, Robin and Batman respectively. There was there was still some good in them, as opposed to pure anti-hero. Anyhow, he said that it's a shame that the world sees anti-heroism as the way to combat evil as opposed to true heroism, and Harry Potter is the perfect example of true heroism. And I agree. In the was it the final book? No, couldn't have been. Maybe it was. What the hell do I know? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was in the final book, which was split into two movies. So it would be in the first movie. I don't remember if they actually put it in the movie or not. But anyway, in the first book, they actually had it that the Death Eaters were coming after Harry, and he's on the back of the broom, and it's and there's a whole bunch of people disguised as Harry, and this one goes, Expelliarmus, to shoot at the one, and the one, yes, he loses his wand because it's a disarming spell, and it just goes, and he flies off really quick. And they're like, oh, I guess I defeated him. And then all the Death Eaters converge. They realize that's Harry Potter. Why? Harry Potter, yes, in the fifth book he did try to use the Cruciatus curse. I know this whole video kind of changed to Harry Potter, right? Sorry, it'll be brief. He did try to use it in that one, but that's explained in the book. It's explained how he really didn't mean it. He didn't have his heart into it. That's why it did not work for him. But the Expelliarmus, that's something that he uses all the time. Why? Because he's a good soul. And they know he doesn't actually want to hurt anyone. You know what I'm saying? He has no intention of actually hurting people. So even while he and all of his friends could have been potentially killed right then and there on the spot, he's using Expelliarmus. He'd rather disarm you than try to actually hurt you. And that's when, and everybody, all the other Death Eaters knew that. So as soon as he used, instead, while everybody else disguised as Harry was using all these other spells, as soon as he used Expelliarmus, they knew right away it was him. And it's like, damn it. That was good. And this was before the seventh book came out. So Stephen King recognized that in people early, very early. He recognized that in the books early. And I recognized it after he said that, and only, compounded even further. And that's that version of Billy Batson is what I want to see in a Shazam movie. I would rather see him being the truly good soul that he was in Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam. To me, that's what I'd prefer to see, but this is what we get instead. And it's still not as bad as like the New 52 Shazam. I know there's a bunch of people who love that. Again, it's the cynicism in the world. You can't have a truly good person. Dude, congratulations. You are exactly like Dr. Sylvania in this. In fact, you're kind of like Billy was in this also, because Billy points out there is no good people in the world left. There are no good people left in the world. But anyway, so let's go back up here and see some of the people, some of what you guys have been asking. I'm glad you got the tickets after I posted it in the Facebook page. Yes, well, I'm subscribed to the Fandango, and as soon as I got the thing, yes, I was just like, oh, there we go, boom, and I used my points. So free. Excuse me. And there were horrible seats because I stopped off to get food. So there were a bunch of hungry people in the audience that had better seats than I did. I was all the way in front, all the way in the right. Literally, I could not have been any further forward or any more right. Every time that Billy Batson or the Shazam was facing the screen, his left shoulder looked huge, like that #1 guy from Umbrella Academy. His left shoulder looked like that. So it's just like, why is he shaped like that? What's going on? Oh, because the screen is curved into heck, I get it. But, oh, wow. It was bad. I can't wait to go and see it again. Anyway, I think I just explained it. Yeah, the Fandango thing. Okay. So how were the foster parents? I love the foster parents, especially the dad. Like, the mom was beautiful also. And I don't just mean like she's pretty, but no, like she was a beautiful soul. She cared. The father, he was also a beautiful soul. Like, they were good, genuinely good people. They were patient. That's one of the best things. Like, these, they're actors, you know what I'm saying? So they're more patient than I am with my kids. There's lots of times my kids, I'm like, I just, said to my my youngest kid who's on the toilet, it's like, all right, hurry up, butthead. I got to pee also. But like, it is what it is. And I don't see these parents as being that type, you know what I'm saying, who would do that. They were good hearts, good souls. And like they said, things where they were very warm, like, they did this instead of praying with like everybody holding hands or everybody doing this thing. They just, everybody put your hands in as like, they're going to do hooray, like that. No, instead they just put their hands in and everybody just put their hands on top. Bring it in, I think they said. And they were like, okay, hey, I'm thankful for this and this and this and this and this, which was cool. I appreciate it. I like that. I thought that was very cool. What do you call it? And Billy didn't want to participate. That's fine. They even said at one point, let him do it on his own. Don't even, like, I noticed on my own, they didn't invite him to, it's like, hey, Billy, if you want to put your hand in, that would be cool. They didn't say that. There was one point later on where they kind of did, but I just took it as whatever. But at first they didn't rush him to anything. It's like, they didn't even say this is your home. Like, hey, man, this is a home if you want it to be. And they were saying to each other, the parents were saying to each other, it'll be his home when he decides it's his home. And that's the same with, just like it was with all of the other kids. I'm like, wow, these are really good foster parents. You know what I'm saying? They didn't try and push anything on them. They didn't try to, suggest anything. They just let it be. So how were the parents? They were amazing. They were amazing. The father, I think that he's the same guy that is the main, like the right-hand man, the bodyguard for what's his name, Elijah? The guy from the King from Walking Dead. I did see the TV show, but I remember from the comic book, he's the wasn't it Elijah? Anyway, the guy with the tiger. You know what I'm saying? Him. So I think that was the same guy who played that in the. I watched a couple of the episodes. I watched maybe 10 of the episodes around that time. So I think that's the same guy. Either way, totally awesome actor. Like every time he was on the screen, like my heart kind of swelled a little bit because he just seemed like a totally cool guy. You know, that you could just walk up to and just be like, "Hey, man, I love you. I love you acting. You're awesome, dude," and just have a conversation with him, and he would talk back to you. You know. Hey, Comic Boom, what's up, dude? My wife was asking me why there are only 6 Shazam and 7 shares. I tell her that Black Adam is the 7th one. You're probably right, Infinity Comics Latino. I believe you're right. Is there an after credit scene? No, there are 2. Zounder Striker. There are 2. There's a mid credit and an after credit. Towards the end, I'll let you know what's up with that. Ooh, Silva. Yeah, I hear you. That Snape is the hero to me. But no. There was not one single redeeming quality about Snape, in my opinion. And we could talk about that in private one of these days if you want. One mid-credit, one after credit. Exactly, Luis Hernandez. Did any of the foster kids turn into their Shazam incarnates? Comic Boom, all of them did. All of them did. And their costumes were perfect, spot on. Holy crap, you can't mistake any of them. Freddy looked good. Freddy looked really good. Like, holy crap. I'm like, oh, that's Freddy. It wasn't just because, the color of his costume. No, that's Freddy. But they were all really good actors also. The kids were good actors. When they all turned into the Marvel family, I'm just like, damn, I don't even like the Marvel family. Like, I prefer just Shazam. I shouldn't say I don't like. I prefer just Shazam. But I get the Marvel family. I get it, whatever. But no, like this will make you like them. This will make it like you have no choice in the matter. These guys were all really good. So yeah, I loved this. How'd you see it early through Fandango? Yeah, there we go. Lewis explains. Is it showing 2 weeks early all over? Only if you do Fandango. Is Ibak in it? There is no Ibak in it. I will give you a little something in here. I'll tell you guys what the after credit, what the mid credit scene is. Let me just yes. Darla was the absolute. So I was right. It is Darla. Darla is the absolute best in here. I need to see her show up with the Flash because oh my God, she's awesome. ICT Vinny, I was just about to read what you were saying. Oh well, I missed it. Anyway, so the mid credit scene. Dr. Savania is in prison, and he's writing on the wall trying to get the door to open so that he can escape. And he fails, but then a voice shows up, and it sounds like a voice on a megaphone. I knew immediately who it was. I'm gonna have to do it explained in a minute to inform people who this is. It's Mr. Mind. I fell out. I almost fell out of my seat. I was bucketed in there, but man, I almost fell out of my seat. I'm like, as soon as I heard it, I knew right away it was Mr. Mind. I see people looking on their phones. Who is this guy? Who's this little worm that's, the little caterpillar guy who's like talking with the little megaphone thing? What's going on here? Blah, 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 blah. Dude, Mr. Mind showed up. Exactly, Zounder. Mr. Mind showed up, and I'm just like, holy crap, I can't believe they're actually doing this. That was great. Everybody's excited for that. I have no idea who that worm was, though. Yeah, that's Mr. Mind. Tawny the Tiger, no. Tawny the Tiger does not technically show up in this movie, but there are like 3 scenes where they give reference to him. There's a sticker or like an iron-on tattoo, a sew-on tattoo on the back of Billy Batson's jacket. That's a tiger face. I almost started crying. Not crying, but like tears almost started coming out of my eyes. There was a moment where Billy gets knocked into. They're fighting in this big carnival area, and what happens? Billy looks up. He gets up. He's like, oh, and he looks over and he sees this. I think it's like a dad and the kid are like trying to, cowering in terror. He's just like, oh. And he looks over and he sees this tiger plush, and he grabs it. He's like, listen, I'm about to, we're getting choked up right now. He's like, hold on to this really tight. It'll keep you safe. I'm like, holy crap. Wow. Like, what a freaking great scene that was. It would, like, my heart was just like, yes. Oh, it was such a great scene. And there was one more scene with a tiger, and I can't recall right now what it was, but man. Oh, the name of the parents give reference back to the creators of Shazam. So by all means, go and look in the description below, and you'll see I posted. It should be there. I thought it was there before, but whatever. There is a or at least look up Shazam explained in a minute. You'll see it, or look up Shazam explained in a minute, Comic Book University, whatever on YouTube. You'll see it. It was like the third ever explained in a minute that I ever did, but I've got to do another one now for Mr. Mind because there's going to be a whole bunch of people wondering who that worm was. In the very end of the movie, before the mid-credits started, Billy had this promise that he was going to show up in the school as Shazam and say that, what do you call it? Oh, for crying out loud, I'm forgetting his name now? Not Freddy. What the heck? Wait, yeah, Freddy. Oh, Jesus. How am I forgetting his name? Dummy? Oh, anyway, not Mary, whatever. Anyway, the other kid. Is Freddy the one with the? Why am I slipping? I'm always bad with names. I think Freddy's the one with the cane, right? Or is that the one in green, blue or green? Damn it, can't remember what they are. Anyway, yes, Freddy. Thank you, Lewis. Freddy keeps on saying like, show up and show and say that you're my friend. Genuine. Thank you, Lewis. Total brain fart right there. So he finally shows up at the end. He's like, oh, and that's not all I brought. You see Superman walk on. It's the Superman costume. He walks onto the, the stage and whatnot. But everybody else is sitting and he's standing. So it cuts off the head. So you don't actually get to see Superman's face. You just get that. Okay, since you're spoiling the end. Okay, I'll see you later, Silver Surfer. What do you call it? And yes, when you're getting to the end, the final credit scene is just a really funny one with, it's a big Aquaman joke. He's looking at the bowl and he's saying, don't worry, man, there's other fish in the sea. He's acting like he can talk to the fish, but he obviously can't. And Freddy is wearing an Aquaman shirt from the movie, like the big Aquaman. Actually, it's not an Aquaman symbol. If you read the comic books, it's actually Atlantis. That's the symbol of Orion. This is the symbol of Atlantis. That A is for Atlantis, not for Aquaman. But anyway, yeah, he's wearing that, and he's like, I mean, that's such a stupid power, right? He's like, yeah, until you can call every single creature in the sea to come to your aid. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, that's true. So it was like a diss and a nod to Aquaman, so that was cool. Headless Superman, I got chills though. Yes, that cameo was great. He had the lunch plate in his hand and everything. Yes. Tony could be an upcoming villain. I don't think they're going to do that. I hope they're not going to do that. Like make him an evil Rakshasa. I don't want to see that. Anyway, and for the third movie, God willing, Black Adam could be the villain. I know. I get the feeling that the Black Adam movie is going to be him showing up and I think it's going to be him just doing his thing. Hawkman is going to be in the movie. I imagine Shiara, Hawkwoman, is also going to be in the movie. But they're saying a whole bunch of stuff there. So all in all, it looks really good. Everything looks good. I have, like when I saw Wonder Woman, like, yay! But then I think something else came. Oh, Justice League came out. And I'm like, boo! Whatever. When Aquaman came out, though, I'm like, dude, I genuinely believe that if they follow this line of thinking, they'll be good. I see Shazam, and now I'm like, there's still the little doubt in me, but in my heart, I'm thinking, nah, I think that the DC universe is going to be okay. I think that we, as DC fans, greater than that, as comic book fans, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're generally going to be okay. This did not feel really like any other Marvel movie to me. So I know everybody's saying, go ahead and just copy the Marvel movies to make it good. I don't think that's even necessary at this point. I think that if they just stick with their own and stop doing the whole dark thing, like you could do dark for Batman, but for crying out loud, how can you talk about hope for Superman if it's so bleak, Like, I know there's a lot of people who are in love with freaking Zack Snyder, but nah, I think that Zack Snyder just needs to stay away from the movies. He's a great film director, but he needs to stop directing these films. He especially needs to stop writing the films. he is not good for the DC universe. If he wants to write a Batman, fine, let him write it. Actually, don't even let him write a Batman. He wants Batman to be raped in a prison. He said this in an actual interview that you can watch. He would have Batman get prison raped. I'm sorry, he is no good for these kinds of comic books. For these kinds of movies, he's just not. I don't want him writing Lobo. I don't want him doing any. I want him just away. Just get away from my freaking movies, dude. I don't want him to have anything to do with them. Sorry, I know there's a bunch of people who love this guy. Let him go back and do 300 Part 3. Okay, I'll watch that, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. But he needs to stay away from the freaking DC movies. That's my opinion. Skipper Laundry. I've never known anything about Shazam, so it took me a little while to realize the family was also a representation of the seats in the layer. Yes, the layer is a big key here. I really like the family part. Yeah, it was freaking awesome. Eugene, I don't know what Eugene is. Oh, you're okay. So you guys are back a little bit. Yeah, Freddy's the one wielding the cane. Family aspect is what makes it special. It makes it very different from the rest of the movie. Like, this is a different kind of family than Batman has, let's say, you know? So yeah, I 100% agree with you, Comic Boom. What he did to Soups is unforgivable. Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it from, like, unless I see another question in the last couple of seconds. This movie was freaking fantastic. This movie gives me so much hope. I think if they do 3 in a row, if the next movie that comes out is like if Poison Ivy and if the Birds Prey, whatever, is going to be really awesome, and it can't just be okay. And dude, I am not somebody who's going to sit there, like, I know a lot of people like Wonder Woman, greatest movie. Wonder Woman probably would have been one of the greatest superhero movies ever if Gal Gadot was an actual actress as opposed to just an Instagram model. My opinion, Patty Jenkins' opinion. So I know there's a lot of people who hate it when I say that. Sorry, brah. You know what I'm saying? But we can't have another Justice League. We can't even have another Suicide Squad where it's like, no, it was pretty good. I don't know what you're talking about. We can't have any more of that fake nonsense where people are just like, it's got to be good because it's got to be good. No, F that. It's either good or it's not. It's not my job to like a movie. It's their job to make me like a movie. I'm very critical when it comes to my movies. I don't want nonsense thrown at me. And if fans are going to say, no, it's good, even though it's not, like, that's not even applaudable to me. It's pitiful to me. They have the responsibility to make these movies good. So if these guys actually go and make 3 for 3, a genuine 3 for 3, dude, I'm down. I will feel that, like, I'm okay with just simply sitting back and saying, yes, they can have a flop here and there, like a full-on flop if they need to, or they can just have a fairly bad movie. But I'm going to feel comfortable going in and seeing all of these movies, opening night, early access, whatever, you know what I'm saying, and feeling like this is probably going to be a good movie. There was a very dark period, and when I say dark, that's a very literal definition, because those movies were way too dark. So yeah, like Aquaman, almost the entire movie is underwater, and somehow it was better lit than the other DC movies. Sorry, that says something. So hopefully, we're in a whole new leaf right now for the DC movies. Let me get these the rest of these. DC just needs to copy the Arrowverse style. That could work too. That could work. They should have had Grant Gustin as the Flash, or at the very least said that Ezra Miller is actually Barry Allen, not Barry Allen, Wally West, because he acted a whole hell of a lot more like Wally West. And even him not being as fast as Superman at first would have worked for Justice League if he were but again, that's just if he were Wally West instead of Barry Allen. And Grant Gustin is actually Barry Allen. It could have just stayed like that, but no. We even lost Cyborg. We lost Cyborg. Now the only Cyborg we have is in the Doom Patrol, which I'm totally cool with because he's an awesome character. He's an awesome cyborg. I just want to hear a booyah just once. Mix it with DC animation and make a Hollywood budget. Do the DC movies like that. Vince, that could totally work. Laundry Skipper Laundry, I don't know why I reversed her name like that. And the family aspect wasn't forced. Oh, it 100% felt natural. You're right. Makita Gut, so glad you said that. Can't wait to watch it. Suicide Squad was a mess. Yeah. Baggio, what about the Shazam family? The Shazam family felt like a family. I wanted to be a part of that family. I watched this movie and I wanted to be a part of that family. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the seventh member of the family. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the seventh kid. Like, I felt like that. Seriously, as good as that felt, I mentioned it before. I actually felt like I would like to adopt a kid because I want one of these kids to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm being somewhat facetious. My wife actually really does want to adopt a kid. Maybe. Maybe we'll get a dog first, just for the sake of conversation. But the point is that yeah, I could actually see adopting a kid at this point after seeing that because like that's how much, yeah, exactly. The dad did rock. I love the dad. That's how good this movie made you feel about these kids. Such great acting on every single person's part in this movie. Corey, this sounds like an overture for a trilogy. 3 Shazam movies sounds nice, dude. I I don't like the idea of hearing about trilogies or whatever. You know what I actually, and that's not an insult. It's just like, oh, the six part arc in a story, a comic book story. No, make whatever is good for the story. You know what I'm saying? If they've only got 2 movies in them, I'm good with 2 movies. Don't force a third. If they've got 10 movies in them, I'll watch 10 movies. If the 9th one is good, I'll watch the 10th. And if the 10th one is good, I'll look forward to hopefully seeing the 11th. You know what I'm saying? Just, that's the way that I roll. I don't need it to be just a trilogy. Like, why the magic number 3? Why the magic number 6? Why all these magical numbers? Just, if this is how many stories you've got, boom, tell those stories, Anyway, yeah, so I think that's it. I'm going to bounce. I've got, some more comic books to read to put out for tomorrow. 3. Only 3. I've only got 3 more to go, and then I'm done. And, yeah, I will talk to all y'all later. Just thought the comedy fell flat overall. Wow, I didn't think the comedy fell flat, but okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I like the comedy. It wasn't belly laughs, but it was good. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. So, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed. Later, guys.